Hey guys, it's Paprika, and today we're going to talk about Sjogren syndrome. What is Sjogren syndrome? It's an illness where your body is attacking your moisture glands. If you want legit scientific definition, click the link down below to read about all that. This video is going to talk about some of my tips for having Sjogren syndrome. Some of these tips may seem really obvious, but not everyone has a good rheumatologist that explains everything. For example, my rheumatologist didn't tell me anything, just told me I had Sjogren's. That was it. I had to do a lot of searching online. So hopefully some of these things will help. So the main symptoms of Sjogren's is dryness, but there's a lot of other things that can happen with Sjogren's, such as just dry eyes, dry mouth, dry nose, dry skin, not being able to swallow food because your throat's so dry, swollen lymph nodes, weird eye boogies, achy joints, mouth sores, having a weird sense of taste or not being able to taste things, vaginal dryness, fatigue or just feeling achy and tired, foggy brain, heartburn because you're not producing enough saliva, sun sensitivity, and trouble sleeping. Yay! Sjogren sucks! So I'm going to tell you guys some of the things that have helped me. Number 1, drink lots of water. Drink lots of water. Just have it with you always. I know it's annoying and you're probably gonna have to pee a lot, but just always have water with you because you really, really need it. You already need it anyways, just as a human being, but you really need it when you have Sjogren's. And I highly suggest, getting like some cute kind of bottle or container so you can take it with you everywhere, because not everywhere is going to have water fountains or good water per se. So drink lots of water. My next tip is eye drops. It's smart to have multiple sets of eye drops so that if you're in the car and you need some, you got them. If you're just out and about, you have one in your purse, you're good. I like to have one at my nightstand because I often wake up in the night with really dry eyes. One in the living room, one in the study, because you never know when you're going to need them. At the moment, I've been enjoying Soothe, but they make stronger. They make it a kind that you can use overnight, and it's more of a Vaseline consistency. Whatever works for you, it really, really helps. However, you do need to be mindful about makeup. It will probably ruin it, but it can be harder to wear makeup with Sjogren's because sometimes if something gets in your eye, it just really, really irritates it because you're not producing enough moisture to kind of flush it out. You're also going to get these weird eye boogies sometimes. I don't really understand why that is, but it's a Sjogren's thing. So if you ever pull out an eye boogie and it's way too long, it's just a Sjogren's thing. My next suggestion is a humidifier. I actually live in Virginia where it is humid as all get out. It is absolutely disgusting. I hate it so much. However, I still run my humidifier 24/7 because I'm just so dry. It might seem a bit much, but you're probably gonna need it. You can get really cheapy ones at Target. Mine's a cute little elephant one. But no matter where you live, you should probably get a humidifier, especially for sleeping. My next tip is gum, specifically Orbit gum. You're going to need to chew gum a lot to help produce saliva. So when you're talking, your mouth doesn't get dry and it's harder to talk. That's going to happen sometimes. I suggest Orbit because my dentist suggested it, because it has some doodad in it that helps keep you from getting cavities, which is important because you're much more likely to get cavities because of your lack of saliva. I really like the sweet mint flavor, that's just me, but have these everywhere, all over your house, in your purse, make your spouse have them, just always have them because you never know when you're gonna need them. And speaking of dry mouth, I also suggest mouthwash, not the alcoholish, Listerine stuff. This is specifically for dry mouth. It's biotin, and I don't know how, but it helps with your dry mouth. I suggest doing this right before you go to bed. You're less likely to wake up with a dry mouth, but even if you do, keep some water on your nightstand. My next suggestions all have to deal with the sun, because with Sjogren's, for whatever reason, you're way more sensitive to the sun, and it can really, really hurt. Plus, some of the medications you can take can also make you sensitive to the sun. So not just that you'll burn easily, the sun physically hurts. If I'm in the car for 5 minutes unprotected, I start to really ache. My first tip is sunscreen. All over. It's so annoying. I hate doing it. It's gross and it's tedious, but you have to do it. Definitely make sure you're at least doing a face sunscreen. I'm a big fan of Asian sunscreens. They just seem nicer and they're less goopy. I use a spray on my body just to save time. Yeah, sunscreen. Sunscreen all the time. It sucks. Next is gloves. Not the kind for winter, but the kind to protect you from the sun. I got these cheapies on Amazon, and I use them whenever I'm in the car. And looking like a fancy lady going to a dinner party. No, but really, these are super helpful. I know they look kind of silly. I also look like I'm in 7th grade and trying to be punk rock. But this is really nice. It helps protect from any pain from the sun, just driving, or actually, I don't even drive that much, but I still wear these as a passenger because the sun is still gonna hit you. My next suggestion is one of those tinted clings for your window. I can't really take a picture at the moment because it's in my husband's car and he's at work, but you can get them in 2 packs on Amazon, and I have one in our car, and I have one in my mom's car since she and I hang out a lot. And that just helps because your eyes are also super sensitive to the sun. I forgot to mention that. And even wearing super strong sunglasses, it's really hard to see when the sun is on me. And so that really helps. You can still see through it, the driver can. It makes it a little more difficult, but for the most part it's just really, really helpful. So speaking of eye problems, you're probably sensitive to the sun visually, and that really, really sucks. Honestly, I don't have a lot of suggestions for that. I can't drive at night because the lights are just so bright for me. My trick for doing it, if I absolutely have to, is I bought a pair of sunglasses that are only 50% tinted. So I can still see through them, but they just dim the lights just a little bit. If I wear sunglasses at night, I can't see anything, so I definitely shouldn't be driving. But this kind of helps. Next up is medicine. It's not always going to work. You're going to have to try and figure out what will do the trick. But the biggest thing that helps most people is Plaquenil. How does Plaquenil work? I don't know. You can look it up. It doesn't matter right now. Point is, it helps. For me, it helps with a lot of my throat dryness. And it helps with my body aches completely. And since I'm not as achy, I can work out, which means I feel better overall and I have a bit more energy. My mouth is dry. My next tip has to do with the lips. Not everyone has this issue, but I get really dry, peely lips constantly. And I didn't even realize this would be a Sjogren's thing. I've had this for so long, but I can constantly peel my lips, and it's very frustrating. So I suggest getting an Italy towel. You can get them on Amazon. They're really, really scrubby, and you just scrub your lips, and then just using, good chapstick. I like using something with lysine in it because I'm susceptible to cold sores because I have a weaker immune system, and that really, really, really helps. Another tip, and this is kind of weird, but condiments. When you're eating, it's a lot easier to choke on your food, especially if it's not coated in anything. For example, just a piece of chicken breast is really hard for me to eat because it just gets stuck and I don't have enough saliva to help move it around. It sucks because you need to coat it in something, which then is a lot more added fat, so you just gotta be kind of careful about what exact products you use. But stuff like ketchup and barbecue sauce can really help with getting stuff down your throat. My next tip is awkward, and it has to do with vaginal dryness. That's the thing that you have for Sjogren's, and it really, really sucks. The obvious solution is lube. They do make products, I think it's called Replenish, help you produce moisture on your own. That didn't work for me, so, and if you're sensitive to lubes, I highly suggest coconut oil. And my last tip is lotion. Lots and lots and lots and lots of lotion. Just have it all over the house, have it on every surface, have it in your purse, have it in your car, any drawer, just everywhere have lotion because you are gonna be dry and it really, really sucks. There's not exactly a specific lotion that is gonna be the cure-all because it's Sjogren's, it's not gonna go away, it can't be cured by lotion. You just need something that's going to help you to not feel so dry and rough and ugh. So yeah, those are my suggestions. I hope they help. Let me know if you have any questions. These are just things that work for me. Everybody's different. Not everyone has the same symptoms, so your mileage may vary. And one last tip. Tell your friends and family about Sjogren's. They need to know what's going on with you. It's awkward, I know, and you don't want to seem like such a burden, but they're not going to understand when you're like, hold on guys, I gotta take a minute, my eyes are really bothering me. Because they just don't experience stuff like that. And hopefully your friends and family will be supportive and understanding, and if not, then they can suck it and wait on you while you put in your eye drops or use more sunscreen. Because your health matters, and you matter, and you need to take care of yourself. Alright guys, thanks for watching. Bye!